Well, it doesn't get any more archetypical than this, right? A horror movie that takes place on Halloween about a crazed killer in a mask stalking a bunch of babysitters in a quiet suburb. It's like every movie after it that shamelessly copied this formula. In the beginning of the movie, a teenage girl has sex with her boyfriend, and then she's killed by her little brother with a kitchen knife. The young boy, Michael Myers, winds up in an institution for pretty much the rest of his life, but while being prepared to go to a hearing regarding his future, he escapes and stalks his way back to Haddonfield, Illinois to finish the job. His psychiatrist, Dr. Loomis, goes to Haddonfield to try to stop him, but they're not sure this guy isn't nuts anyway. It's far away, and they don't see a reason why Michael would travel all that way to kill people, but Dr. Loomis is of course absolutely correct. Dr. Loomis is pretty much the main character of the entire series, more so than Laurie, who was only in 3 of the movies, and is pretty much the hero of the story opposite of Michael Myers himself, who has become a killer known only as the Shape. Laurie Strode is a babysitter with a few friends who all plan to get together and do stupid teenage shit, but they're being stalked by the Shape. First he drives by, and then he watches them on the street, and then he follows them around. When one of them is alone or vulnerable, they get killed. You never see his face, except in the beginning when he's a little boy, and for those of you who are more familiar with the sequels or the remake, keep in mind that it wasn't revealed that he's Laurie's sister until the second movie. Anyway, Laurie manages to survive and fight him off. She thinks he's finished after stabbing him in the neck with a knitting needle, but he gets up and chases her upstairs, and is about to finish her off, but he is himself shot several times by Dr. Loomis, and then he falls out the fucking window. Seems like a pretty definitive resolution. If the 6 gunshots didn't kill him, the fall certainly should have, right? Except there's no body. So there would be a sequel that would finish him off for good. Except when the series moved on to other subject matter for the 3rd movie, people didn't like that. So Michael Myers was brought back for 3 more times, the Thorn trilogy, which expanded his backstory. They then decided to ignore all that with a sequel to the original, and then one last sequel before the series got rebooted by Rob Zombie. So, what's the verdict? Halloween is pretty good, but I can't help but feel that it's a little overrated. It's not a bad film, but when people talk about it as the quintessential birth of the modern slasher genre, I have to point out that Texas Chainsaw Massacre predates it by 4 years, and Black Christmas was out in the same year. And honestly, I think they're both better movies. Texas Chainsaw Massacre has way better atmosphere and pacing, and Black Christmas is just far more frightening. Halloween is one of those movies that's always talked about as if it's the be-all, end-all for horror movies, but I think that's just not the case. But it is pretty good. Michael Myers as the Shape is problematic. At first he's just some guy driving by, and then he's standing out in the open in broad daylight. It's not until very late when he's attacking people that he's freaky. And that's mostly due to his heavy, strained breathing, something that got dropped from most of the sequels. Jamie Lee Curtis as Laurie Strode is the best part of the film. You get a good feeling for her character, and you want her to survive. Donald Pleasance is pretty good as Dr. Loomis, though I think he was better in the sequels when he had more to do other than wax poetic about how evil Michael is. Overall, I do recommend the film and its sequel, and I mean Halloween 2, not fucking H20, that one sucked. Halloween is a good movie, and if this review comes off a little negative, it's because I do think it's a little bit on the overrated side, but remember, overrated doesn't mean bad. I give Halloween a 7 out of a possible 10.